IQ
Um,
IQ is not IQ
Harrison,
usually
Harrison, Harrison,
tends to.
Harrison, repeat that for the camera for me.
Okay. So I would argue that IQ is not a measurement of one's individual smartness, but it is a measurement of the rate at which one can become smart and how flexible they are and how easy it is for them to become smart, but not of their actual smartness. First, I personally attribute smartness to knowledge and understanding, but knowledge and understanding does not come with the IQ. The IQ just makes you more easily able to attain such knowledge and understanding. So you can have someone with, a fairly low IQ who could be brilliant, not simply because I have a high IQ, but simply like they could have a low IQ, but if they like are a really hard worker and they put in a ton of effort, like they could become very smart, if not smarter than most people, simply because they put in the time.
Through experience.
Indeed.
I mean, yes, experience is knowledge.
Yes. So IQ is not. We talk about intelligence and knowledge. IQ is, I guess, a measure of more
A
or
measure of
less.
potential.
Well, not even because arguably, potential exceeds to infinity if we don't count how long someone can live. So if you can live for like forever, then like you can infinitely gain an infinite amount of knowledge.
Okay, let's
But
think about it this way, right? W- What's that condition called where you lose memory?
Alzheimer's,
Yeah,
Alzheimer's,
yeah. Do
or
you
dementia.
think, like, do you think that Alzheimer's really is from the process of your brain, like, decaying? Or, right? Or does it have nothing to do with your brain? And it's just the fact that your memory is literally, like, experiencing too much that it just can't handle it. And if
But your
people had
memory has
immortality, they would just get Alzheimer's because they've lived for so long and their brain just can't handle it.
Well, arguably, memory has everything to do with the brain. Actually, no, not arguably, just it does. But
The brain controls like
There's different parts of the brain. So, like, if
yeah,
like the memory portion of it is affected, then obviously your memory is gonna
yeah, that's only a
be back
specific
up.
part. The brain
well, that
also controls your body and your all that.
so is your
Yeah.
argument? Wait, is the point is what you're saying that is Alzheimer's caused by you gain so much knowledge that your memory can't handle it, or is it that because you age, your memory decays because you get older because your body ages?
No, no, not because your body ages, because your literal experiences age.
Well, don't well when you say that, like because how can you run out of capacity when well, like we are arguably then you would run out of capacity really early on because there are plenty of memories that we have just like forgotten or have been warped or just been thrown away. We already are arguably out of capacity, don't have enough capacity in our lives to store all that stuff. But maybe it's after enough, maybe simply consciousness, enough experience. Maybe it's just a process that happens naturally when you're conscious for so long. Maybe simply awareness wears the brain down, wears memory down. Like there's an argument made for sleep and how sleep is not a process to actually retain or gain energy that like powers the body, because arguably like when you think about it, like when you sleep, the amount of energy that you say like retain or like restore is about as much as you'd get from say eating a banana. Because we're already getting energy from the food we eat and consume. So then why do we need to sleep? Like, why does the body need to be off in order to retain energy? It can just do that when we eat anyway. It can just keep going. And then anything when we sleep, anything we would need more energy when we sleep because the body is still going and the brain actually becomes more active and there's more. So there's this argument that the awareness itself, that consciousness, is just that in being aware and conscious, that itself needs to take a break. That's not the bodily processes that need energy need to stop. It's simply just the conscious experience that needs to take a break.
Exactly.
And
But
maybe
here's the
it's
thing though, it can't take a break because it's part of your memory. You can't just because for it to take a break, You just have to keep forgetting stuff, and that's literally the point.
Well, that's not what I meant. But I was meaning more like not consciousness as in memory, but as in like how when you're asleep you're unconscious.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And I was saying that if the brain, if it's like that, is when Alzheimer's is a process is that similar as like with your bodily functions when they're in use for so long, they eventually like the heart stops, it can't move anymore. You know, your immune system starts failing. Maybe your conscious mind stops being able to just use sleep as a way to reset itself, and it just gets tired and starts falling apart on itself.
But relatively speaking, right? It's the possibility of, like, if there was just an immortal man, right? Like
Yeah.
completely immoral. His body is perfectly
Doesn't it?
healthy, right? He gets enough sleep, all that stuff, right? He just lives for however long. Would he eventually gain Alzheimer's just from like having so much memory, just like
Well, yeah, no, exactly. That's the theory, and I guess at least my theory, like if we were to propose that, it's not necessarily the memory itself that like memory is this like the loss of memory is the symptom, but the actual cause is not too much memory. It's just in this hypothetical scenario, it would be just the mind being worn out, causing memory to deteriorate. Although that's just a theory, a
a
game
game
theory.
theory.
Thanks for watching. Yeah, although I think like ultimately like I don't think we know like there's definitely like like even with like the limited knowledge we have on like the physics and like what the parts of the brain that are, we have limited knowledge there. But as far as like what the actual how that relates to the conscious experience, like we have even less there. Like that's just that's almost impossible to do an experiment on. Because currently most like mind experiments on the brain are more so just like showing or giving putting someone in a scenario and then asking the person, did you experience this or did you think this or feel this? And of course that's very unreliable because it's going through the person's biases and conscious experience, and even then like they're nitty-gritty and detailed things that we don't see. But I don't know. I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not qualified. So
Well, I mean, technically, you can never really, like, even if we were scientists, we can never really like prove something because we can't prove it unless, right? Because technically, back then, a very very long time ago in the Stone Age, right? In the Stone
yeah.
Age, like humans were specifically like their lifespan was from 0 to 20. That was their little thing. But because of medicine and stuff like that, we were able to expand that, and
Yeah,
now
and
we have
now
people
now
like
we
going to
age.
hundreds. So maybe like even further into the future, if the Earth doesn't sink into the sun because of the whole science stuff,
Well,
I don't feel like
well,
explaining,
that's well,
right?
well, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah, yeah, obviously, eventually, but like we don't know when, but further
Well,
in,
we have an idea of when.
yeah, yeah, but further in, maybe, right? We could have people like living until the age of 1,000. Like,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
totally.
like how do we know that? Like, what if by the point like when the Earth is like really close to the sun, like maybe like as close
Well,
as
it's not.
Mars is to the sun, right? Like, what
Well,
if
it's not that. Well,
what?
Earth wouldn't. Well, Earth would get closer to the sun, but it wouldn't be Earth going towards the sun. It would be the sun expanding and getting
Yeah, I'm
bigger.
aware. I'm aware.
And
I'm aware. Yeah, but like to the point where it's like Mars temperature. What if like humans just evolve, to the point where that's our physical bodies can withstand such temperatures?
oh, unfortunately, like if it was at a slower amount of time, then yeah. But evolution, especially evolution, like differences in a species like that over that short amount of time, even something as simple as maybe like like the heart being on the right side of our body instead of the left is like incredibly improbable. almost impossible in that amount of time. Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, there are such thing as mutants.
Like, well, yeah, but a mutant does not account for the whole species. Like when we say mutant, like people that are born with like an extra finger or such, that's
Mm.
that's a human. But that's not like when we say like the human race, those are like humans that like develop as the whole. And I don't think, at least not yet, that we've had. And also like with things like that, it also, just because someone is born with a thing like that doesn't mean that they either can reproduce or that when they reproduce their child will have such thing.
Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm tired now. I don't know why I'm tired. I woke up at like.
It's because we're boring creatures. We're boring friends. We're like
Okay. You said
just
something about Mars, like Earth being as far as Mars, or like as close as Mars, but Mars is farther from the sun than the Earth is.
Oh, did
Okay,
I say it wrong? Was it
I think you said
Oh,
it
I said
wrong.
Mars. Oh, I meant to say Venus. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
what I meant.
yeah. Also, I don't. I was just picking up on things that like wrongly worded, and I think Harrison meant that our heart is on the left side of our bodies and not our right side.
I think you represent like literally everyone who watches this channel for some reason. Like, it's just like, dude, these people make no sense at all.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell are they talking about?
I
Do
am
they? Do
the
they?
neutral observer that will
Exactly.
correct things I've said wrong.
Exactly. That is your role in this channel, and then Steven's just like ghost.